I did it. This place hasn't looked this good ever.
The drone looks amazing.
We decided it was time to move in. We do not have power, we do not have propane, but we do have a camp trailer. Come in, my friend. Are you not sure what's going on? Are you not sure what's going on? I get that. All right, let's go. Night one in the camp trailer.
And everybody's fighting.
Everybody's here but Sage. Sage has to work early in the morning. We even got Rube Doog in the trailer. He's totally loving being in here. Okay, what's the plan?
Rhett, move it all up. Your turn.
I'll be right back. Let's go. What are you doing? At least you're having a good time, huh? Good night, girls. Sleep good. Kelly's feet stink. Good night, Retro. Good night, Reed. Sleep good. This is our final load that we're taking up to the ranch. Basically everything we own.
I'm driving with my dad in a giant U-Haul truck, and we're going to Red Poppy Ranch.
Where is Red Poppy Ranch?
In the woods.
What else is it? What is Red Poppy Ranch?
It's our house.
It's our house. You're dang right it's our house. Let's go live in our house now, all right.
We're already living in it.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
We took a couple days away from the ranch to spend with family. And while it was hard to be away, in the back of my head, this is where I knew my family needed to be. But I can remember showing pictures of the old ranch house to Cedar, even before we were married, hoping that someday we could live like my great-great-grandparents did. By the end of the bright and sunny day, the battery bank had recovered, but it reminded me that we still have a few things left to do, like the backup generator and potentially a wind generator as well. We're about 2 hours away from the next storm setting in. We're fine. The house is warm. We're just not able to rely on the solar system. The solar system's been down since Friday evening. So this is what our weather looks like up here at the ranch over the next 7 days. And this is basically all of the firewood that we have right now. Cedar and I have got to do something fairly quickly to get a good amount of firewood on the ground, at least in preparation for this next week. This is what I would call a perfect example of procrastination. It's not like I'm a lazy person. It's not like I didn't know that I was going to need a whole bunch of firewood in order to keep my family warm this winter. I don't know what I was thinking. In the back, we're about to get 4 days of snow. I was running the plow truck up and down the road, trying to really clean it up, get as wide as I possibly could, and this happened. I almost wonder if we Stop. Now I'm on my way to get Cedar, get my truck, hopefully winch it up the hill without letting it slide down. On that particular corner, I nearly tipped the backhoe over. The old plow truck, I got stuck right there. Dump truck rolled over right there. There's probably been 7 or 8 accidents. It's super narrow and I tried to go too wide. Now I got to get the truck unstuck.
This kind of stuff is so stressful. I don't like this.
What's stressful? You're gonna run.
Too close to the
You're gonna run the winch.
I've never ran a winch in my life.
I've been running a winch for 21 years.
I've been a winch maybe, but maybe I've never ran one before.
Seven to 14 inches of snow. Come on.
Are you wishing you were back in Arizona with those shorts? Or did you leave your pants in Arizona?
Can you even capture these white legs on film? Getting it done.
You gotta cover it all up?
Get them inside some of this stuff. Well, it's a snow day. I gotta be quiet. Everybody's still asleep. I gotta run into town and get some gas for the plow truck. It's about 18 degrees outside and still snowing pretty hard. So, before everybody wakes up, I need to get the road cleaned up, get a fire going, and at least get the house as comfortable as I can. That's all to look for.
What? Are you okay? Oh. No. I've been waiting for this moment forever. Listen to it.
It's supposed to be really quiet.
No, that's like not working.
You press the start button. Did you select one of the normal? Give her a minute. It'll probably go.
Try.
Didn't we already do one load with this?
Oh. Wait.
Is it filling?
Yes. It's so quiet. That is the quietest thing I've ever heard in my
Well,
life.
I'll get you a 15-year-old dishwasher if you need to hear what's going on.
Well, that would be good on the batteries.
Right.
The electricity.
This is an Energy Star appliance. Whenever we've got new, we've never in our married life had new appliances.
It's working. This is so great.
You're right.
This is so great.
Hilarious.
It's a little bit dirty. Let me clean it for you.
That was a little bit too fast, buddy.
That was awesome!
I am on my way down to Lion Energy, which is a manufacturer of the batteries that I want to use for my battery bank. But they have this lithium phosphate battery that I'm super interested in, and I'm hoping that I can get something figured out and get my lead acid batteries replaced. When I finally realized I needed to make some major decisions around our battery bank, and I recognized that lead acid was going to be nothing but a high maintenance problem, I started looking into lithium iron phosphate batteries, because for the last year and a half, that's all I've heard about when it comes to off-grid solar systems. There is no off-gassing that's happening with these lithium phosphate batteries. There is no concern about hydrogen floating around the air. While I still have the box vented, it is still vented. It doesn't have to be. There's just so many more positives associated with the lithium phosphate batteries, and we couldn't be happier with them. It has been a rough couple of days. We started the week out with having some issues with our solar system. We identified the problems, ordered the parts that we needed. We've been getting by just fine using the generator. We knew there was going to be some speed bumps, some challenges. Somewhere in the middle of this happened. So in the middle of all of our challenges this week, Rhett had to have surgery yesterday. He had to have a rod put in his leg. It's not my leg. I've been kind of messing around with everybody on Instagram, but it in fact is not my leg, which is a big deal because had I broke my leg, we would be in a tight spot. But Monday morning we ran out of water. So Tuesday morning, same day as Rhett's surgery, I got on the phone, panicked, called the right people, ordered the right parts. I got an inverter shipped out overnight. And by the way, this is all because of weather. This is all because of the one constant that I knew we would fight figuring this stuff out, which is the Idaho weather. I knew Idaho weather was going to be a challenge. I knew that it's unpredictable, and I knew stuff like this was going to happen. I can't catch that one.
So how do you feel about what happened to my car today?
You mean the little scratch?
The little scratch.
It'll buff.
The little
It'll
scratch.
totally buff out.
The little scratch on
It'll
your
totally
truck.
buff out. Look, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to get to church.
You just had to.
1 year ago today, we moved in.
Okay.
So, looking back, what do you think you would have done different? What do you think you would have done the same?
What do you remember?
What do I remember? That was crazy.
What was crazy?
We had moved into the camp trailer. We were doing everything outside because nothing in the house was finished yet.
We had no bathrooms.
We had no
kitchen. Downstairs had drywall. It wasn't taped. Wasn't textured. Upstairs had flooring. Upstairs was painted. Upstairs was done. There was no doors upstairs.
Yeah, there was nothing.
Okay.
Nothing down here. The stairs.
And this is
the
August?
stairs weren't even done yet. They were.
No, I had to put temporary
Yeah,
treads back on.
temporary treads.
This is August. Kids started school.
We had no
We
light.
had no solar system. We had no power. You would run the generator out in front to do the kids' hair.
Yeah. And the Milwaukee light.
We were using my 18-volt light
But we did that in the
in
trailer.
the evening.
We were.
We'd run the generator, watch little TV in the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, in the trailer. We That's where they got ready for school for the first couple days. But actually, the first day of school, I went to my grandpa's funeral, so I wasn't even
You were
here.
gone.
So you guys had to survive on your own for a few days while I was at grandpa's funeral. But what else?
Okay, so then we get the solar system figured out, kind of. It would work well,
Yeah.
and then we'd go 3 or 4 days with no power again.
They started going into fall, so the days were getting shorter.
So we were using small 5-gallon propane tanks until I got the 1,100-gallon propane tank.
For water heater and for
Dryer, stove.
stuff, yeah.
Then we ended up putting in a new,
We ran out of propane a few times because we didn't realize we were out.
then we put in a new wood stove. We didn't have enough firewood.
Our porch wasn't done.
Front porch wasn't done.
Front porch wasn't.
The house was a mess.
There was no gravel.
No gravel, so it was muddy.
It was dry there for a while. Then as soon as it rained, it got gravel or muddy. What else? We didn't have water for a few days.
We would lose water because, again, we didn't have enough sunlight to fill up the tank at that time, one tank.
Yeah.
We had to order the inverter, so we went 2 days with no water. 2 to 3 days with no water. You had to go into Sages to shower.
And
We
the
all did.
laundromat.
We all did. And the laundromat.
Spent lots of time at the laundromat for a couple months at least.
Okay. Then, again, we didn't have adequate firewood. We just were kind of limping by. And then we get heavily into winter. We get significant snow on the ground. We got a good plow truck in the middle of that. Got a dependable plow truck. And then I almost rolled the plow truck off the hill.
Got it stuck.
You had to pull me out. Then we had to buy a couple loads of firewood to get by because that's our only source of heat.
And that firewood was a
And then
pain.
during that time, all we're doing is just continuing to work on the house. We finished the upstairs bathroom. We get the inspections we needed, the official inspections we needed.
Got the doors on.
Got the doors on.
We were using plastic
We were using
tarps for doors.
tarps. We were using sheets,
Blankets.
whatever we had, blankets.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Then we get through winter. We managed to get through winter.
We just barely stopped winter. It snowed in May.
Snowed in July. It's just
at
not
our
much.
house. Yeah, that's true.
On the mountains around us. It
Yeah.
snowed in July.
It was cold.
So we are now
So-
1 year and 1 day into our off-grid life.
And we survived.
We survived.
We did it.
You still like me, kind of. On some
I like
days.
you even more. Yeah. We
So
spent a lot of
did we
time
jump in
together.
too early? Looking back on it, do you have regret? Looking back on it, what would you do different?
Too early, yes and no. We were so ready to have our own place. We love your mom, bless her heart, but it was ready for time for our own place.
We were ready to live in a teepee.
Yeah.
If that's what was required.
Yeah. So, but it was, extremely difficult.
For 2.5
going through all that.
years, 2.5, 3 years. 3 years probably at that point. More than that, a little over 3 years. We'd been building the house for about 2 years at that point. We were sick and tired of.
You were gone, driving back and forth every single
Constantly.
day was really hard.
We were ready
And then I
to.
couldn't be up here every day to help you. And
Yeah, one of the best things that happened was that last year and a half of our life living under the circumstances that we were living under, because that basically puts you in a position where you, both of us, we didn't care. We didn't care if we could keep warm, if we could feed the kids, if we had water where we could shower, but we didn't want it to stay that way. So halfway through winter, we ended up replacing all the batteries. The lead acid batteries basically were failing so fast. So anyway, we changed out all the batteries. We get the solar system figured out for the most part. We get the backup generator installed.
we got the large propane
We
tank.
got 1,100 gallon propane tank, which we just filled up 2 days ago. And over
And it wasn't
that
even
entire time, we used 500 gallons.
500 gallons in 1 year. And we didn't, that's the dryer, the stove, the water
That's
heater.
everything.
That's
And that's the generator running way more than it's going to run this year.
for a family of 6. Plus we have had tons of company.
Tons of company.
We have people over all the time.
Sage comes over and does her laundry here. My goal is to use 1/3 of that every year, so 300 gallons a year. So if I can get the solar system working a little bit better, we're about to make some changes again to the solar system, but we, we're getting to a place where we have concrete floors. That's about it, right? Other than that, there's little things we're going to fix. We're going to sand down the concrete countertops and re-epoxy them. The way I did it initially.
But this is so much better than a plastic table.
Yeah, it's a house, right?
It's a house.
Okay, so there's no question we were not prepared for what we were about to get into,
No question.
but we were willing to figure it out.
And
That's
we
part of
did. We're proof that we figured it out.
and that's part of this lifestyle, right? Is you're never going to be prepared completely for everything. We just figured it out. We had to use my old generator I've had for 15 years until we could get the big, expensive, fancy generator we have now. It's controlled by the inverter. I don't even have to worry about it anymore, right?
Right.
So we're moving in the right direction, but it's still with challenges. We're about to head into winter again. We don't have enough firewood again, but we've got a bunch up on the hill. We just need to buck up and stack. So how do you see, well, then we didn't talk about one of the last things that's happened. After snow melts, we have mud.
The mud.
We're about to, hopefully next month, have a whole lot of gravel put down the road,
Which will be huge.
which will be such a big deal.
With the dust and everything.
Yeah.
If it's not mud, it's dust. And
I don't mind the dust.
the
Dust doesn't bother me as much.
snow is easier to handle than the mud.
Once it freezes, the snow really isn't that big of a deal. Next step is your car still has a big dent in the back of it. Shop will be finished. I can fix your car. Maybe try and put lipstick on the.
Or just give me a new one.
We're leaning that way,
Yeah.
right? Getting you something that will not
Give me a
have
Jeep,
any
something that's not going to
issues.
get stuck.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So that's the next step, is to get you a vehicle, probably a 4-door Jeep that we can build to where it'll never be an issue ever again getting out of here. So we're gonna do the flooring over winter in here. We're gonna finish a little bit of trim. There's few little tiny things here and there that we need to do, but the main focus will be finishing the shop over winter, finishing the cabin. I don't know.
Blinds.
Blinds, sure. There's always gonna be little stuff. Blinds, getting all my tools off your front porch into the shop, organizing the shop. Building a project truck or something over winter, but we made it. More than anything, we made it. So the advice you give to the next person that's about to embark on their off-grid journey?
Just roll with it. Just take one day at a time and just get through it.
Be flexible.
Be flexible, yeah.
Persevere. Be relentless.
Patient. Long-suffering.
All that stuff. That really is the lifestyle though, right? At the end of the day, we went to bed warm, had food in our bellies. What else you need, right? But now, once we walk through that door, regardless of what's going on outside, once we walk through the door, you wouldn't know any different than what's happening in our house versus what's happening in town or whatever. So anyway, we're looking forward to the next year. We're excited. I can't wait to have the shop finished to where I can have a place to work in the wintertime.
You don't have to lay on the gravel and work on stuff when it's snowing outside.
Yeah, we've already got a lot of projects that are stacking up in anticipation of snow that I've got to get done. I've got to build shelters for the water tanks. I've got to do some of that stuff, but we made it. We made it a year.
We need to do another list.
Yeah,
Our list up there needs to be revamped. A priorities list. So many things to do, so little time.